Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan here. Welcome to another edition of the DanQ review. Finished another game in its entirety earlier today, and that game is Driver San Francisco. There were a few things I wanted to wait a bit before I did the full review because I wanted to get the single player and the multiplayer done because they are both very different. They have the same concept, a similar concept, but they're both very different in game style. Now, we'll start with the single player. Basically, the whole premise behind the single player is they're trying to push this new thing they've incorporated into this driver game, which is called shifting. And shifting basically allows you to transfer from one car to another without actually getting out of the car or whatever. You just tap one button, you're up in the air, pick a car, it tells you what car it is, and you zoom right into it. Now, the premise behind this is that John Tanner, the main character you play as, you're chasing your arch nemesis, Jericho. And basically this happens and that happens and you get in a huge car wreck which puts you in a coma. And the coma is basically messing with him. And he's basically picturing everything that happens in his head. And this isn't really a spoiler because it happens, you find it out within the first 10 minutes of the game. So, you're in this coma and this whole time, and John cannot figure out for the life of him why he's able to change personas. He can jump into the body of another and use their vehicle and do things for them and that sort of thing. And as he figures this out, he starts putting it into good use. And not only does he do it to help his game to take down Jericho, but he uses it to help out others around the city. Now, that's pretty much how they do side missions. The main quest missions you can do whenever they appear on the map. Usually you have to do side missions to unlock these main missions. They are related to the main events of the story. Like there is one where you follow two brothers who are in a race trying to make it to college. They're trying to get a college fund by betting on their races, and they're trying to win. So basically Tanner will take control of the driver and win it for them. And eventually the brother gets greedier and greedier, and you have to keep controlling it for him. And things like that. There's also chases where you switch perspectives. So basically, one time you're a cop trying to take down this punk that's driving. He did something or whatever. You're chasing him, or you can be the punk, depending on what the scenario is, and you're running from the cops. And it's basically there's a lot of different unique game types that you can play in the single player mode. Now, besides the main missions per se, there's also things called activities, challenges, and dares. Dares are basically really brief things, they're based on context. So, for example, drive 100 miles an hour in oncoming traffic for 20 seconds. Something like that. It can be done anywhere, all over the map. Jump a car, do a 50-meter drift, that sort of thing. Little things like that. They're really quick. They give you really small amounts of experience points. But if you're short on points, they're a great way to get that going. So basically, if you're like, oh damn, I want to buy this one car, but I can't do it because I need 1,000 experience points, or they use money. I can't remember what the actual currency is called. It's called willpower. You spend willpower, basically. And so you get enough and you can make that. Now, I didn't do as many dares. At first I did a lot, but they started to get kind of pointless, and I'm like, nah. I stopped doing the dares maybe towards 3/4 of the way through the game, and I strictly did, actually through half of the game, and then I strictly did activities. And activities are a little different. They have the same idea, although they usually reward you with more experience. Sometimes they can be little chases, side note chases. They don't have a storyline. They're just like, take out this guy. You also have one where you can just do a circuit race or a sprint or something like that. Activities, like I said, reward you more, and most of the time they allow you to unlock new vehicles. And it'll tell you what you can unlock. It'll say, unlock this car, unlock that car. So I found myself doing a lot of activities. Now, as well, throughout the game, you can find challenges, which are basically, they don't relate to the main story whatsoever, whereas activities sort of do. These don't at all. There's like, beat the time limit, race this, take this person here, get them back. I mean, they're unique missions, but they don't relate to the story at all. All they do, they give you some experience, but they're mainly like time trials to try and beat people around the world and beat their scores via the leaderboards, you know. So there was that, and in those challenges, throughout the entire map, you collected they're little blue square things that show a film clip, you know, where you, action, that thing. They're little images of those, and they're scattered all over the map. And when you pick them up, you have to collect 10 at a time, and every time you collect 10 of these, you unlock a classic movie scene challenge, which basically is like a retro version of this, pretty much bringing you back to Driver 1. And in it, you have no shift, you have no boost. All you have is 1970s vehicles, 1960s vehicles driving around in classic settings. You know, all you got to do, chase this guy, take him out. Now the thing is, it is dependent on how much you find, how many of these film reel things you find. So I think I found 30, and I did 3 challenges, but I could be mistaken. And there were, I think, 20 challenges to do. So keep in mind, that's a lot of film reels or film clickers to find. I did what I could, but basically the idea is the same. You know, just with different vehicles and different enemies. At one point, I remember I ran away from the cops in a I believe it was 1970 Ford Mustang Mach 1. And then at another point, I was driving a Gran Torino as the police trying to take out an El Camino. And it was really interesting, you know, it was original, because every single car on the map, when you're doing the challenges, were old. And they had like the old Volkswagens, you know, all the muscle cars, they had old Mustangs, they had everything in the game that they placed in a retro setting, which was really neat. But I never got a chance to do too many of those because of that, you know, but I did what I could. Now, the storyline itself, when you think past of all those side missions that I just explained, the storyline itself, like following Tanner's storyline with his partner Jones, trying to take down Jericho, this mob boss, and you're trying to figure out what they're trying to do, and you gotta get to him, and it's all in your head, and you're trying to figure out what to do with this. The story itself is really kind of ridiculous. It's pretty silly when you think about it. I mean, in past driver games, it's been, you're in this car, take out this guy, and the mission progresses. This is all in his head, and you have the ability to shift into other people. Yeah, it's a neat idea, but for a main storyline, it didn't really make sense, you know? You're kind of like, this is kind of dumb, I don't get why this is working. And then when he comes out of the coma, he's all ready to go, you know? He's all like, okay, I know where to find Jericho, I know what he's up to, this, that, and the other thing, we can stop him like this. But at that point, when you do wake up, you realize, okay, yeah, it's been hinting, like we've known the whole time that he's been in a coma, but Tanner just figures it out now, and you're like, okay, now he knows what to do, but you don't have any shift abilities, you know, you don't have boost. Basically, it's as realistic as it can be when you step into the real world, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, you're just like, wow, the whole game was in his head, so however long he was in a coma, and he was just fiddling around, making all these things up in his head as we went along. So like I said, the storyline is weird. It doesn't make sense, really. I mean, it does. I can see they wanted to try something new, but and this is how they incorporated it into the new setting of the driver games, but I don't know, I think I could have done without it, to be honest with you. I mean, I've played the classic games, I played Driver 1, I played Driver 2, and things like that, where all you have to do is chase guys, do this and that, you know, ram this guy off the road, follow him to this location, blah, blah, blah. And you never had anything involving, you know, shifting into this, shifting into that, and just making it easier on yourself, which I don't mind. I actually like the fact that when you, like, some of them were really fun. Like at one point when you had to take out a guy, like he had damage, and you missed him with your car, shift into an opposing traffic and oncoming traffic, ram him from the front. As soon as that guy's done, switch, boom, switch, boom. It was just funny to see, because this guy, you're thinking, what, the guy that's driving this vehicle you're taking out, they're like, what's wrong with these drivers today? You know what I mean? But besides times like that, like I said, the storyline is kind of weird. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense why they would put that in that style. But that's what they chose to do. They wanted to go in another direction. And to be honest with you, the idea of shift is innovative, and it is quite fun. Like, honestly, you get to try out many cars without having to get out. You run into a wall, oops, shift, there, brand new car right next to it. I'm still going the same speed, I don't have to worry. So, the storyline itself was entertaining with the way it was put out, but the storyline itself could have probably gone in a different direction, in my opinion. Now, multiplayer. The shift idea in multiplayer, 2 thumbs up. The shift idea in multiplayer made it so fun. Honestly, I had so much fun with the multiplayer. I play by myself, but Recon joined me, although he wasn't, we weren't talking, but he was in my room the whole time. And it was a blast. I mean, there was so many different things you could do. There was free roam, there was free for all, there was tag team type matches, where you work as a team to take these guys out. There was shift racing, regular racing. There was a police pursuit one where you'd switch between the cops and the guy who's chasing. You're getting chased, and every time you try and work together to take out this one guy. Meanwhile, if you're the guy who's driving, you have to try and escape hold off as long as possible until the time ran out, and then you'd win all the points. And then there'd be a bunch of little bonuses around the map that you could collect to boost your score. And in that setting, it was really fun. And the more you level up, the more abilities you unlocked, the more advantages you would have. Like, you'd unlock more cars, faster cars. You'd unlock more cars to swap out. Yes, you could swap cars on the fly like that. You could do more races. Like every time you leveled up, you got a new game type to try out. And funny enough, some of the best ones were the earlier ones in the game. My 2 favorites were Free For All and I can't remember what the game type was actually called, but the hot pursuit one with the cops and the robbers, so to speak. You're basically playing cops and robbers, and those were 2 of my favorites. But honestly, there wasn't much cheating. I mean, a lot of people did try to ran you off the road, but not intentionally. Everyone was trying to get one thing, trying to get the objective, and unintentionally knock you off. But regardless, it was really original. There's a lot of different game types to try out. If you have a group of people that you know, even if you don't, just hop on to Driver Multiplayer. You will have a great time. Now, I do want to say something about the multiplayer. I'm sure a lot of you know that EA is doing this new thing where you have to pay to play online. But people who buy the game straight up, so like you buy a copy from launch, you're good to go. Because the code for that passport or that online pass, as they call it, is available in there. You don't have to worry about it. But for people who are renting the game or who are buying a pre-owned game or something like that, the code is not there. So basically they're telling you, oh, even though we have the features in the game for you, we'll spend an extra $5 to just play the features. It's pretty ridiculous and cheap of them. But now Ubisoft is doing it, and they've done that with Driver. And I think when I noticed it, I was like, that's not really fair, Why is Ubisoft jumping on the cash grab bandwagon, I mean, if you have a good solid game, you should be fine with it. Now, here's something interesting. With Driver San Francisco, nobody has to worry about that. Why do I say that? Because Ubisoft screwed up. Basically what happened was, every single code they shipped, whether it be for the Uplay passport, which is the online pass, any sort of pre-order bonus, like for me, my pre-order exclusive cars that I got from GameStop, EB Games, all those codes were the wrong amount of characters. They misprinted all the codes. So what did they do? Everyone has everything for free. You go straight in, Uplay passport, purchase, oh look, this purchase is free, download. And the DLC cars, the pre-order bonus cars, they're already in the game. They unlock them and put them in the game, you can use them. That is neat. I love that. But the fact is that the essence is still there. They still try to make money off of online play, which is stupid because that's where this game really shines. Online play is probably better than the story mode, for sure. Because the story mode, if you spend your time doing everything, the tasks do get kind of tedious. You're like, I just want to kind of move on with the story. I don't want to do these challenges anymore. You will play maybe 8 hours, 9 hours, depending. Probably about 8 hours worth for the story mode if you do side missions here and there. If you do them all, you probably do it in like 15, maybe more. I don't know. I didn't try it. But I did most of them. I did most of the activities and challenges and left out a few dares. So I'd say about 10, 15 hours total if you do everything in the game. Also, it could take time if you want to look for those film clips to unlock the old school movie challenges as well. So add that onto the queue. But in the end, like honestly, I find myself, I don't want to do dares anymore. I just want to see what new cars I unlocked. And you unlock a lot of cars. There's a ton of brands. This is one of the first driver games, I think it is the first driver game, where they actually have licensed automobiles from the real world. Like they have everything. They have Chevrolet, Dodge, Ford, anything American pretty much. They also have they have the German cars. They have Mercedes. They have Audi, which is one of my favorite cars since I have one. So I've always been a fan of an Audi for a while now. They have Alfa Romeos. They have Lamborghinis. They have the modded version of a Porsche, which is a RUF, R-U-F. I believe that's how you say it. Basically, it's the same. In essence, it's the same thing as what Saleen is to Ford. They take the chassis and just put their own custom parts in. So basically, they're Porsches in essence. You have a lot of buggies to try out, like off-road vehicles like that. They have Cadillacs. They have, believe it or not, if you guys didn't see this, they have the DeLorean DMC-12, which is basically the Back to the Future car. They have that in this game. Yes, they got trucks, SUVs, cars, everything. McLaren. It's just there's so much to choose from. And each car is affordable. You just got to do challenges, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to spend hours upon hours to get it, but when you get further in the game, money comes to you a lot quicker, and you're just like, wow, that was easy. And you can buy this car, and you can buy all these cars, and then you're free flowing. You can just choose, go in story mode, free roam with all your available cars without having to look them up. You can just say, oh, I want to drive this right now. Swap it out. I want to drive this one right now. So that's neat. So let's just recap real quick. The story mode, the storyline itself is kind of ridiculous, but it is still fun because of the way it's set up, but the storyline could have used some work. The multiplayer is great. It's really fun multiplayer. The shifting idea in multiplayer is great because sometimes you'll get into an instance where you're all trying to catch up to this one car. You know, for example, in Trailblazer when you have to stay behind a lead car, which happens to be the DeLorean DMC-12. And everyone's just frantically trying to switch cars to get closer, and they end up smashing into everybody. Everyone goes everywhere. You're trying to figure it out, and it just turns out to a great time. You're just laughing, having a great time with this multiplayer. A lot of different game types to choose from. A lot of levels. You unlock a lot of things like icons and abilities and cars to use when you're racing. A lot of fun with multiple people. Trust me. The more people in a group, the better. Because it's just pandemonium. It's chaos when you're driving in some of these. So, phenomenal multiplayer. Decent single player. But overall, it's a really good package. Graphics look really great. There's detail on a lot. Like, all the vehicles have extreme detail. Like, the thing is that's so cool, usually in an open setting like this, all the vehicles in the open world that are operated by NPCs are just generic whatever vehicles. They're all licensed vehicles. You drive by a vehicle, it's there. For God's sake, like a GMC Sierra. When do you ever see a GMC Sierra in a game? Or a GMC Savannah, which is basically a van, you know? When do you see that? You don't. So it was phenomenal because it was very, very realistic, which is what I really liked about this game. The realism was really good, with a few arcadey elements, which made it fun. So as a total, because the storyline is kind of dumb, but the idea is fun and the multiplayer is really, really good, I'm giving this game a 7.7. A very solid rating. It's an 8. I feel like an 8 is just too much, so a 7.5 is too low. So right smack dab in the middle, 7.7 is what I'm going to give Driver San Francisco. If you like multiplayer, definitely get this game. If you like to free roam, definitely get this game. If you like the idea of multiple cars with real cars and the ability to actually drive them, well, virtually of course, get this game. It's no question. So, that's my review for Driver San Francisco. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helped you make your decision. And so this is Dan once again. I'll be signing off. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you later.